Well, that sound means that we are starting this week the same way we do every week with what is turning us on this week. Laura, super excited to have you back. What's got you turned on this week?
Besides being back on this show, I would
Oh,
say I know, dude. I love secular sexuality. It's actually my favorite of all the ACA shows. So, um, that definitely turns me on. But no, I'm a big, huge podcast fan. So I think last time I brought up a podcast, but this time I'm going to do that again with a different one and throw out Dan Savage with Savage Lovecast.
mm-hmm.
'Cause he's a sex positive podcaster that gives just relationship advice and answers different sex questions. But what I like is just how all inclusive he is with all kinds of different topics. So if you think that something is too taboo to ask a question about or to bring up, um, he is the person to go to ask that question.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Long-term listeners of this show will definitely have heard me say that there wouldn't be a secular sexuality, at least not as we know it,
Mhm.
if it hadn't have been for the Savage Love Cast. And I regularly recommend to my clients and really to anybody who is working to, I don't know, I guess maybe have some exposure therapy and to sort of
Mhm.
sort out some of those maybe religious cultural assumptions that they grew up with. It's a great way to be kind of constantly exposed to like where the pulse of sexuality is. I was having a
Yeah.
conversation with a client about it just today about how you can kind of sort through all of those religious issues and you can get your mind right and you can come to a place where your values and your philosophies have changed and still have some real extreme discomfort over the idea of, you know, people who are of the wrong genders falling in love with each other, or people who are having the wrong type of sex that just
Mhm.
brings up some like uncomfortable visceral reactions. And that podcast for me was a great way to sort of get exposed to those ideas
Oh, and
in a really
normalize. Yeah.
casual, sort of jokey sort of way. And yeah, Dan Savage likes to put his foot in his mouth a lot, and I want to be sensitive and acknowledge that while
Mhm.
also acknowledging my like incredible debt to him.
I love it. I would say even if you don't think you have any questions about sex or you think your sex life is great or you know everything there is to know, turning into a show like that, at the very least, it exposes just the wide variety of
The
sexual.
wide variety, yeah.
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 Cool.
Well, Nate, buddy, what's got you turned on this week?
Well, I have a little anecdote I thought might be relevant to what we're talking about tonight. So, as our audience might know, I work in an industry typically dominated by straight, burly men. I'm in skilled trades, and recently I got a couple of friend requests from some colleagues that I don't think knew that I'm gay, but I was just like, yeah, okay, whatever, click. You're gonna find out. My profile pic is me and my partner, so I noticed that we had some mutual friends, and one of them is my partner's brother. So I asked him, "Oh, hey man, how do you know so and so?" He's like, "Oh, I've known him for years. We go way back." And I'm like, "Oh, well, that's cool. I'm engaged to his little brother. Bet you didn't know that. Surprise!" And he's like, "Yeah, no, I didn't. But yeah, we should go out for a beer sometime." It was like not even a big thing. He's just like, "Yeah, let's go have some beers." So that was nice. Don't know what I was expecting, but it was nice just to have it not be a big thing. Culture's changing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, let me validate that really quickly because I think it can be easy to say like, well, I probably shouldn't have been nervous about it in the first place. It's 2021 after all. And I mean, it is, and that should be the way of it, but we all know folks that are still constantly getting berated for that kind of thing. So glad to hear that that it's something of a nothing burger. I actually appreciate you like bringing that up and sharing that with us.